Just what are your thoughts with given how different this year is and how protocols in place? How different is how you plan this in your mind, celebration wise, and how it's actually playing out in real time now?
Yeah, well, it's a lot different. Just where the world is now still. COVID is still, out there. So definitely your approach is different, understanding of everything. So that limits family time, that limits, festivities, that limits everything or stops it completely. So um, having an awareness of that is still important.
Next question, Jalen, is from Alvin Whitney.
Hey, Jayle, everybody. Thanks for your time, man. Just wanted to get your feelings on the latest voter suppression stuff that's going on, and talk about the efforts you guys are continuing to make to make a change and these type of things.
Voter suppression is real. There's been various communities here, especially in the Atlanta area and other places as well. Well, where they've voiced not having enough workers to work certain places and certain polls in certain neighborhoods and things like that. Just a lack of resources overall, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that is a part you know of voices attempting to be silenced, uh, et cetera. So I think that continuing to spread light on that is important because obviously we want our voices to be heard.
Next question is from Steve McGargy.
Congratulations. I was just wondering, we're doing something regarding the scheduling change this year where sometimes you're facing the same opponent in back-to-back games. And I know it's done this season for obvious reasons to cut back on travel with the pandemic, but do you like that dynamic, playing the same team in back-to-back games? Or if there's in future years, would you like to see that continue, or would you rather go back to normal?
Do I like it? I don't have a preference, to be honest. Not a like or a dislike. Um, to be honest, it does kind of help prepare for the playoffs. But obviously, if you have an injury or if somebody's out or something like that, that could really affect, the gerrymandering at the end of the year. Because if you play a team that's in your conference twice or in your division twice, and say if you had an important player out for both games, obviously that could switch up things towards the end of the season. But I don't really have preference, to be honest, in my opinion. But I could see why it could go back and forth. It could be debated.
Next question is from Sherrod Blakely.
Hey, Jalen, how's it going?
How's it going, Sherrod?
Good, good, good. Hey, listen, a year ago this time, I know things are very different. Your alma mater down there in Marietta was celebrating a state title. You guys were things were somewhat normal before things shut down. How has this year transformed you, Jalen, as a person, as a player, from where you were a year ago this time?
In a lot of ways, I think, and a lot of people are probably, resonate. I think it transformed everybody. A lot of stuff was going on. Everybody was quarantined. 2020 was the year of reflection in a sense. So a lot of people were forced to sit down and look at themselves in the mirror. So, a lot of things have changed. A lot of businesses have closed. A lot of establishments have remodeled themselves. A lot of people's friendships, relationships, the dynamics have changed. It's all around the world, et cetera. So those same changes have happened in my life as well. So, I think 2020, that's the year, that's what it was designed for. So people who experience that, I don't think they should beat themselves up over it. Everybody was kind of feeling it. You weren't alone. So I know I wasn't alone.
Taylor Snow.
Hey, Jalen, Jason was talking with us earlier about the possibility of matching up against you at some point tonight. And he was saying how he already knows all your moves, isn't going to let you score. So do you think you're going to have to pull a little something extra out of your bag tonight, or how do you think that's going to go down?
Against JT?
Yep.
Nah, nothing extra needed. No, get them puppies moving, and it's a wrap. We good. So I'm looking forward to it, though. Me and JT obviously have played, one-on-one. He think he know my moves, but I tell him all the time, like, I ain't got to do too much. He think he know my moves. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be fun.
We're all looking forward to it, Jayle. The next question is from Valencia King.
Hey, Jalen, appreciate you taking the time. Valencia King with Real Talk Sports. I know that you've always taken pride in being involved in the community. Now, even though it looks a little bit different due to the pandemic, when you have those moments where you can connect with youth and kids, how does that impact you as a person and a player?
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
Yes, no problem. I was asking, I know you take pride in giving and being involved in the community. So when you get a moment, I know it looks a little bit different due to the pandemic, but when you have a moment connecting with youth and kids, how does that impact you as a person and a player? Can I get a thumbs up if anyone else can hear me?
I heard your question. We got a little bit of a freeze on Jalen's end. We'll try to work on it here.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Who laid their lives on the line for me to be able to stand here or to be on this computer screen or to be able to in Atlanta and move around freely. So I feel like there should be people in our generation that should be able to do the same thing. And I identify as one of those people. So everything is for the next generation. Everything is for the youth. Everything is trying to make the world a better place. So I guess that's the impact it kind of, makes on me. But that's what it's about at the end of the day.
Gary Washburn.
What's up, Jalen? There's a player, I think, put for the G League Ignite, one of the kids who literally just came out of high school, and they kind of tapped him, a young Jaylen Brown. How does that feel? You're 24, but how does that feel to kind of be where players are starting to be compared with you? How does it feel when kids say they want to be like you? How humbling is that, and how does that make you feel, knowing that obviously you're a role model on and off the floor, but just that kind of, you're not a young player anymore. You're an all-star.
Yeah, I'm an old player now. You can say it. Go ahead. I'm getting old. That's great. Fantastic. A lot of work, has put into, where I'm at today. So this experience is a win. A lot of adversity in my career. A lot of people who supported me despite, the naysayers, despite all the pessimists, despite all the fans or medias or the boos, whatever. So I definitely, am happy. And the people that have been with me, I celebrate this with them together right now. So to have other people who are looking up to me or influenced by me, I think that's a humbling feeling for me because it hasn't been easy, this path, and there's still a long way to go. This is just the beginning, but even just to get to this point, it was a lot of roadblocks in a way, and mentally I had to be very, very strong. So to be able to be a role model for somebody else is an accomplishment for me in itself. It means that, I've kind of persevered through a lot. So I definitely want other people to inspire other people going through anything in life, to be able to persevere through whatever they're going through, mental health issues, just normal adversity, et cetera. And having a growth mindset within that is what it's about. So a lot of times people message me and say, you represent growth. Like, I've been able to watch you play basketball and I've seen your growth and things like that. So it makes me feel like, I can continue to grow in my life. And it's nothing better when people say things like that. So it's a very, very humbling feeling. Sorry for the long answer.
Cameron Buford.
Hey, Jalen. Kind of on the same note, I want you to talk about playing for a league that really has an impact on society, not just here in America, but the whole world. You obviously was a big part of that last year, but would you just elaborate on how that feeling is and that unity between the players and the league, really trying to have a major impact in society? And
Yeah,
congratulations for being an all-star, by the way. Apologize for that.
thank you. I appreciate it. Sports is like one of the most influential things in the world, especially in the world we are today, or maybe it's always been, even predates, history, but, sports outside of like maybe like religion and music is so influential. So, being a basketball player, you have a great responsibility because it does have an impact on our society, and the NBA does have an impact on our society. So every time I get out of bed, I try to, use my platform with the understanding of that, is that even though if I didn't choose that, or if I'm not willingly aware of that, it's the truth. Like, people are going to be looking up to me. I'm a role model. My name, my energy has reached households that I haven't even been 100 miles up. So that's just the nature of it. So just having an understanding that, that sports is so influential, and I'm a role model. I'm a member of my community. I'm a member of my extended community, and now I'm a member of the Boston Celtics. So all of that stuff has an enormous effect on the community outside. So just try not to take that for granted.
Eric Walden.
Hi, Jalen. Thank you for your time. We're days away now from the 1-year anniversary of, Rudy Gobert's positive test, Donovan Mitchell testing positive the next day. You spoke earlier to 2020 being a transformational year in a lot of ways. Can you kind of take me back to that night a year ago and kind of how you learned of it and what your reaction was to it, and kind of, how quickly your sense of scope about the situation kind of came into focus?
I have been keeping up with it prior to like hit the NBA. So I was already preparing and trying to prepare my family for what was to come. And it was a blessing that I was able to do so. But yeah, as soon as it hit the NBA, things became, crazy media headlines. But it's almost like, I don't know what to even say. Like, I don't think you can really prepare for something like that, or that anybody could. Anybody was ready for what was about to happen. So in the midst of it being a year, it's not over yet, but we still got to do the best we can to stay safe. We still got to do the best we can to strive for equality within the healthcare system, because there's still dynamics within that aren't being talked about as much. And we still got to, make a lot of changes going forward.
John Corrales.
Alan, have you had any opportunity to practice for the three-point shootout, shooting off of racks? And do you have any particular strategy going into that competition?
The strategy is to win, I'm great. I'm extremely grateful to be here. I'm gonna have some fun. That's my strategy. My strategy is to, put the ball in the basket, as much as I can. Obviously, it's little details that, I paid attention to and I worked on, but for the most part, have fun, smile, and try to bring it.